What's up? What's going on, boys? Make sure I get this mic on. How's everybody doing? What is going down? What is up? What is up? Are we live here? What's good? We got Jeremy, we got Brian, we got Tommy Shea, we got the Swan family. What is going down, boys? Man, I just told Mel to bring me some water. We were just rushing home when we got home with 2 seconds to go live. We just made it. We got Jason popping in. Moto Monday, the show that makes money, something to look forward to. Well, hey, man. Thank you, sir. Appreciate all you guys being here. So what's going down? How's everybody week has been? And quick question for Swan family here, because I had someone sign up for my class with the same exact last name as you. Is that one of you guys, or is that just coincidence for the August 14th class? And I was like, wait, I wasn't sure. And I was looking where they were from. And I'm like, well, could be because he's a local boy. Let's see. We got Jesse jumping in. What up from Wisconsin? What's going down, dude? Well, cool. And Brian's got the bug picture. Yeah, man. Yes, sir. That is the Swan family. All right, cool, man. I hope I'm saying your name right, too. Yeah, man. Hey, it's that time of the year, dude. I'm going to basically start driving around. Probably, hey, I'm going to be honest with you. When we probably get done this live tonight, I get that little window right before dark, and I actually went by myself last night. I usually take Mel with me, take Mally with me, but Mel had she had a conference call or something, so she couldn't go. I'm like, yo, I'm rolling without you. I'm going. And I went, and dude, I seen $5 last night. Seen those 3 that I posted. Seen two other nice ones. And then I seen like a small little scrub buck. But anyway, it's getting close. Bow season comes in September 15th here. A little warm for me to go in September. I'm probably gonna push it back to October, but I'm ready, dude. I'm going hunting for sure on the Missouri side. I don't know if you met my buddy Drayton from the.
Your sound is messed up.
What's wrong?
Your sound's all messed up. What did you do?
All right, Mel's coming in to fix. What's wrong? Is my mic? Go to the mic. I probably got the wrong mic on.
Probably.
Webcam mic?
No, the Samsung QDU.
All right, sorry. How's the mic, guys? Sorry.
See if it's better.
Should be better.
Ask them if it's better.
Big Feist is jumping in here. Hey, is the mic better? I had it on the wrong microphone. Here, come here. Look who came in for a visit. Oh. Look who it is. Hey. Hey. Are you all excited?
Brian said thumbs up.
Is it better? Sweet.
There you go.
All right. Sorry about that, guys. That's my fault. Hey. Hell of a.
Mel did not check.
Yeah, Mel's had a crazy day today, and yeah, we were running late. I got it set up, and
Did you put mute so that you don't hear the bloop bloop?
so last minute, just getting it dialed in and jumping in here. Well, I'm glad we got that fixed. Thanks to Mel, always keeping a checkup. But yeah, man. So looking forward to Swam coming out to the August 14th, right? Where we at? Let's pull that up real quick. I believe it's August 14th. Yeah, August 14th is what we're shooting for. So Swam is signed up. We got another guy signed up. I think it's Jason. So we got 3 spots left. And we're going to, I guess as it gets closer, we'll lock in the track. You know how that goes. We got to kind of wait. We got to watch the weather. We got to watch who's available. And I feel like all the local tracks are kind of the same way. They got to see what the schedule's like for them. So looking to do it at Green Valley. Potentially could also potentially maybe be at a private track. But we'll keep you posted as we get closer. We should know in another week, because I think once we get out 2 weeks from the event and we can see the weather, we should be good to lock it in. But who else we got jumping in here? Let's see. We got Woodcrafts and we got DK. What up? Lepto. All right. Let's check out the results from the weekend. We have Washougal. So we got the 450 here, and we got my boy Sexton. Come on, with the 1-3 getting his overall, looking smooth out there. I feel like doesn't Sexton and Lawrence Brothers look the same? I feel like they ride identical. They got the same smooth style. Tomac with the 2-2, solid right there for the day. And then Ferrandez with the 5-1, and he basically got that whole shot in the second moto and was gone. Muscan, Barsha was holding it down pretty good, though. Webb, with the 6th overall. Oh, dang, didn't mean to do that. And then Plessinger had a rough day because something happened to who knows what happened to Plessinger in the first moto, because I don't think he got in a first turn pileup, but I don't feel like they showed it if he did. But all I noticed is the first lap he was like basically in last, but come all the way back for a 12th, and then pulling into 4. Second moto he was on it. Who was he putting the heat on? He was putting the heat on somebody for a second in the second moto. Was it Tomac? Or who was he putting? He was on somebody for a minute. I can't remember now. Craig with the 8-8. And then Roxon there not having his best day. Sorry, I got to look around the microphone to see that. Finishing in the 9th. And I guess Roxon was sick. I seen him do a post and said he got sick the week before the race. And just with the heat and everything, just not able to perform like he can. So a bummer. But shout out to Sexton for holding it down for Team Honda. Let's pull up the 250s, and I got the points also, so we'll look at the points for both of these classes. And then Martin with the 3-1. Hey, 2 weekends in a row with the overall, so definitely looking like a contender there. We know that, right? And then Hampshire getting some good overall there with the second 2-3, nice and consistent. Cooper, dude. Did anyone? I don't think they posted Cooper's crash, but Cooper last lap of the second moto went down gnarly, and it looked like he was trying to shake off the cobwebs just to even get back in the race. But man, lucky he was able to get out of there with a podium. I mean, 8th place is definitely not where he should be, but he still was able to get a podium. Jet with the 7-2, same thing. Jet had issues in the first moto. I'm thinking I don't know if he was in that first turn pileup. There was a first turn pileup, and I know Shimoda was in it. I don't know if Lawrence was in it or if he just crashed. I can't remember. But he definitely had issues early in the race, first moto, and then solid second moto. Brown been riding solid. Mossaman, and then Lawrence. And then who we got down there? Schwartz. So let's look at these points. But, hey, what do you guys think of Washougal, too? Pretty cool track. This is what I was thinking about when I was watching the motos. The lap times are like 2:14, 2:15, and it's 30 minutes plus 2 laps. So let's just say roughly these dudes are doing at least, do the math, 15, 16, 17 laps? 17 laps on Washougal. Dude. All you local dudes know what I'm talking about, because you go out to the local track and 5 laps is hard, and the lap time's probably not even half that. So I was like, dude, these dudes are beast. 15 laps. Who's got 15 laps on Washougal? All right. So here we are on the 450 points. We got Ferrandez with the 303. Roxton falling back to a 256. And that's getting to be, I mean, it's not a huge gap. Anything can happen, but it's still squeaking. It's starting to squeak push away from a little bit there. Tomac, but look at this. Second through, you got Tomac, Barsha, and Sexton, basically 256, 250 or 49, 239, 238. So I feel like from second to second to fifth is going to be is up in the air at this point, right? Really tight. So, and Plessinger been pretty solid, so he could potentially. I mean, anything can happen, One bad moto just jacks up your whole. And didn't he just get a DNF? That's why I think he's way down here. He just had a DNF. Remember his bike broke somewhere? Maybe it was last weekend at. I don't know. He had a DNF somewhere. Was it Southwick? It was Southwick, I think, huh? So that kind of killed his deal, but don't count him out at this point. These dudes are going to be bouncing around, and hopefully somebody can creep back up into this first spot, but it's going to be tough. He's definitely starting to get a lead here. Let's look at 250 class. Oh, wait a second. Let me get this one down. I got everything jacked up now. What the heck, dude? All right. I don't know what happened. It's not working the way I want it to. All right. What the heck, dude? Get out of here. Man, it's all jacked up tonight. All right, let's blow this one out. Here we go, 250 class. Look on my right. Or no, that's funny. That's my left. That's weird. It's backwards. All right, Jeremy here. Oh, wait. What the heck, dude? That's the moto. I'm all jacked up here. Hold on. Hold up, dude. Dude, they all look the same over here. I got to label them. Oh, no. Hold on. Let me get this one out of here. And is this it? Nope. Why does that keep doing that? All right. Let me try again. Is this it? There we go. Sorry, guys. Team Squirrely over here. I need to label them. I just have all these blank things in here, and if I do them in order, I'm obviously lost my place. Start clicking everything. All right. Justin Cooper, 281. We got Lawrence, 273. So that's actually pretty tight right there. So this championship is definitely going to come down to the wire. And I mean, and big brother or little brother, or which way it goes, I'm not even sure. I think he's the older one. 237. So that's still about what? 50 points, right? 40 points, 40 points, 40 points. And then we got Martin with the 220. But Martin's 202 first overalls back-to-back. So, and then Hampshire, I mean, it's still pretty tight in here. It's not too bad. So, it's all up in the air at this point, especially with these dudes. I mean, Cooper's pretty solid. I mean, we'll see how he's looking after this crash. But I believe there's a week off. I don't think it's a race this weekend. I think there's a week off. So, it's going to give him time to recover. Going to give Roxon some time to recover and get back on top and feeling strong again. But, yeah, it's still pretty tight through here. It's basically the same in both classes. The top 5 is pretty tight. So there's definitely going to be some mixing up going on there. So let's jump in and see what's going down. But hey, man, if you're new here, thanks for being here. Hey, even if you're here every week, I appreciate you guys being here week after week, hanging out every Monday night, 7 p.m. Central Time. Subscribe to the channel if you have not. Give us a thumbs up. Let YouTube know we get on here and talk about some good stuff. But we're going to jump in, see what's going down, because I'm just trying to think. Any announcements coming up other than the class? We got the class coming up. Oh, all right. Here's one. I have decided to go to the FCA motocross camp, and I should have pulled it up. But I'll just give you guys the dates. If anybody's in it's upstate New York. I know we had a guy on here last week from upstate New York. So the class is the camp is the August 26th through the 28th. And I'm going to be there the 26th and 27th, and I'm actually going to be flying. And the 20th is just a half day, so it ends at like noon on that day or 1 or so. But I'm actually going to be flying to in the Philly that day to see Big Feist. I'm going to hang out at Big Feist's house the 28th through the 31st. So anyone in this camp is huge. I thought the Oklahoma camp was a big camp. They had 78 or 80 campers. This camp already has 230 plus people signed up. So it's going to be a really big camp. It's both off-road and motocross, and it's put on by FCA. It's a Fellowship Christian Athletes, so it's a Christian motocross camp. But you can sign up for the camp, but you can kind of focus on whatever you want. So if you're in the off-road and woods riding and trail riding, they have a whole set of a course set up for that and instructors for that, and then they have a motocross side. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be sweet. Like I said, I haven't been back to see my dad in the summer for a long time. I can't even remember the last time I've been home in the summer. So looking forward to going back to that camp in August. And then I'm going to go see Big Feist. And then I'm hopefully going to get together and do a ride day with some of my boys from the East Coast. I've been texting everybody, hitting everybody up, saying, yo, I'm coming home. It's a short trip, but and I know everybody's got to work. But if there's a way for us to get together and go moto for a day, let's do it. Because I have not been able to ride back in Jersey at all, like where I grew up. And I can't even remember. It's been so long since I rode in Jersey. And I always see people posting cool spots. There's a lot of cool spots back there. So it'd be fun to go back there, link up with the old crew and go moto. So that's coming up. We got so we got our class here. We got the August class. Big Feist coming out in about a week. So we're looking forward to hanging out with him. We got Mel's brother coming out as well. So we got some family time coming up. But other than that, we were just grinding away, and we were sweating bullets out here in the Midwest. Brian knows, and because Brian went to the track he went to Green Valley. I think I saw him put a Green Valley comment up here or quote or something. Where was it? But he went out there on right here. He said it was on point right here. Brian was out there Dude, you're a tough man, bro, because it was like 105 with the heat index. I was chilling by the pool. I probably should have sent you pictures. I was like, dude, it's way too hot to be at the track. So it's scorcher out here. We got a heat wave coming through. It's supposed to clear up here, and I think it's supposed to be about midweek. Give us some cooler weather. So I'm looking forward to that. I got some one-on-one stuff this week, so it's always I enjoy the cooler weather when I'm out there on the track. So let's dive in here and see what's going down. If you're new here and you got a question, throw it in and put up the question marks. I'll pull up a question so you can see how we do it, but this is how we do it. Try to go through and answer everybody's question. Try not to skip anybody, and if I do, just pop it back up. Because sometimes I don't see your question because I might think it's a comment. But this is how we do it. See how MX Tips got it? With the question marks. That way I can see your question. All right. It says, have you ever been out for a month because of rain? I think yes. I think we have. I think, honestly, the rain season here in the Midwest is really intense. And I believe it rained so much in spring, I don't think we were able to ride. And I think it seriously lasted about a month. Might even have been longer. So, yeah, it does happen, and it sucks. Been out. So this is the same one. Yep, same one. We had that stuff go down. Well, this is what I noticed about the Midwest. It's freezing in the winter. It rains a ton in the spring. It's sweaty hot in the summer, and then it's nice in the fall. So that's kind of how we roll out here. All right, we got Brian here. He says, I always feel like my throttle elbow wants to be inward. Any tips on how to keep both elbows up? And it's causing a lot of arm pump on my throttle arm. So Brian's saying his right arm, his throttle arm is coming inward, and it's causing some arm pump, and he wants some tips on keeping it out. I always say one of the main, the reason a lot of times our elbows get in is because of our hand grip. So I would try to make sure that you have that proper hand grip that we talked about, where your hands are slightly, I want you guys to be able to see my hands a little bit, move this up here, but kind of like this. You should hold on the bars like this, and when you grab the bar, there should be a little, this knuckle shouldn't be up against the grip. This should be rotated out, and you should see almost like a little baby triangle in between your hands. So just make sure you got the proper hand grip, because just by nature, if you have on this hand grip, it will automatically try to want to keep your elbows in. So I would definitely try that. And the throttle hand, here's the deal. Throttle hand is like, it has a tendency to drop because you're on the gas. And I want to be so picky, as long as it's not just dragging. Like, here's the deal. Like, we want our arms up and out, but we want to be fluid. We want to be comfortable. We want to be loose. We can't just be like this and try to be picture perfect everywhere. So keep your arms loose. If it rolls down, just return here. But I would think more or less of it being inward, and you're not really saying it's down. You're saying it's more inward. I would think that would be your hand grip. So I would just make sure to check that out. And for sure, poor hand grip could definitely cause more arm pump, for sure. All right, let me bring this back down here for a second. All right, so we got Woodcrafts here. He says, you missed your place in Cali. Just watched a house tour from back in the day. Cool place with the MX track and pool in the backyard. Yeah, totally. I love that place, and definitely miss it. That's a sweet spot. Definitely a sweet spot. So, well, hey, it's just a house, and our goal is if we're staying in the Midwest, we're going to get something just as cool or better. So it's just a matter of time. We find what we want. But it definitely was a sweet spot. It was awesome. But hey, if you guys ever see any videos, it's a full-blown supercross track right now. So it's actually pretty cool to see. The place is still going, dude. I wasn't expecting when I sold it that a motocross family was going to move in there. But someone did, and it's a full Rhino trains there a lot, so full-blown training grounds, and so that's always good, but feel bad for the neighbors. So they didn't get a break. They got 20 years of me, and now they got probably another 20 years. So forgive me, Big Mike. All right, so we got MX Tips here again. He says, Ronnie, have you heard of Triumph bikes? Yes, so they are... I don't think they have dirt bikes. If they do, I don't know. But yeah, I think Hart Hart has a deal with Triumph. I think Ricky Carmichael just put out a post maybe a week ago, and he's got a deal with these guys. But they make cool road bikes. So yes, definitely know who they are. We got Mel here. What is she saying? Are we still doing Moto Mondays next Monday? My brother flies in that day. That's a great question. I'm glad you pay attention to detail because I haven't even thought that far up the road yet. All right, so we're going to have to figure that out because we do have family coming in, and then we have Big Feist. We're definitely going to get Big Feist on the show while he's in town. That's always fun to have him come on. But we'll keep you guys posted because we'll have to see because we do have her brother's only in town for like 2.5 days or something, so we don't have a lot of time with him. But I'll keep you guys posted if we have to switch. But we'll definitely have Big Feist on when he's here. And like I said, now that we got all the bugs worked out, we shouldn't have any problems with this glitching. If we have to move it, we'll just let you guys know what day. I like to keep them on Mondays because I feel like it's just easy. You guys expect to be here Monday, you know to be here, so it's just easy. Like sometimes I feel like when I do it on a Wednesday, I see comments like, "Hey, like what the heck, dude? You did it on Wednesday?" And not every people might see my posts, so I'd rather keep them on Mondays, but. We'll keep you guys updated. What up? What up? We got Danny B here. That's my man. All right. I need to get back out to Cali, too. That's another thing. We got to get back out. Danny B. And I got a couple mini riders out there that I work with as well. I'd like to get out there and get together with you guys again. All right. Let's see. We got Big Bird jumping in here. We got Mike. What up? What up? From Millville. Here we go. We got Mike. Here we go. He says, you need to hit up the sand pit off of Port Elizabeth, Cumberland Road. That has to be, is that Schneider's old pit? Big Feist would know the answer to this. Port Elizabeth, I'm almost 100% sure, Cumberland Road. That sounds really familiar. And if it is the pit that was right behind John Schneider's house when I was growing up, if you guys remember the clips from Moto XXX when me and Deegan, when Deegan stayed at my house in Jersey, a lot of those clips were from that pit. And it's a really sweet spot. So definitely, that's what I'm saying. It'd be sweet to go ride these pits. I'm like, man, I remember riding here 20 years ago. Longer than that now, shoot. 30 years ago, shoot. So I'm really looking forward to it. I know I made a couple calls, and definitely boys are like, hey, we'll get you a bike. And I'll have my gear because I'm coming straight from Moto Camp in New York. So I'm looking forward to, even if it's just a quick little session. Doesn't matter. I'd be happy if I got 15 minutes on a bar bike and I got the moto for 15 minutes and just hang out with my buddies. That'd be sweet. All right, we got Zandon up in here. What up, brother? He said, what up? I was out at Green Valley on Sunday. Got a second. Hey, congrats, Zandon. Second with the 250 beginner. Thanks for all the help. Yeah, man. Congrats right there. So Zandon's been out to maybe 3 classes now. So he's definitely improving, man. And I believe didn't you get the win, right? You got the win the last time at Grand Valley, now the second. So, dude, just crushing it. So, congrats. That's awesome. We got Mike here again. Triumph is starting to make dirt bikes. Ricky Carmichael is going to test them. So, there you go. So, that's big news right there. Triumph bringing on dirt bikes. Then I always wonder, like, why didn't Harley Davidson ever make a dirt bike? Like, they should make an American dirt bike. Like, that'd be cool. Like, where's the American dirt bike? Like, Harley Davidson needs to step it up. Is Triumph American company? Does anybody know that? Because I'm not 100% sure of their background, or Triumph. I might be saying it right. Triumph. That'd be sweet if we had the first American dirt bike. All right. Don't eat a Casey. I'm reading comments here. We got, Big Price. All right. He says, what do you do to get over the fear of jumping? I think to get over the fear of jumping is almost like you have to kind of jump. That's the thing. You got to work into it. Like, here's the deal. Like, to conquer fear is almost you kind of have to, like, push through the fear. But you don't have to do it. Like, you don't have to just shoot for the moon and come up short and, like, just put yourself back. Just baby step in it. Work your way in it. Build confidence along the way. So if you want to learn how to jump, just find a safe jump. I always say tabletops are usually the safest. Find a safe tabletop, or even a single. Like a single out the flats, not like a huge single is going to be a hard landing, but a real mellow single that has a mellow lip, and jump it out to the flats and just learn how to jump. and then take it to a tabletop and get to the downside. But the more you jump, the more comfortable you get. And it's seat time. If you don't jump, you're always going to be nervous about it. So you have to kind of go do it. And that's just like in anything. And that's normal. Don't feel like, the fear is just you. I mean, I've been riding for 35 plus years. And if I show up somewhere and there's like a huge jump that I never hit before, if it's big, I'm like, yo, how fast I got to hit this? I'll watch a couple people and, you can be like, first time you hit it, you just, then you hit it and you're like, oh, I got it. But that never really goes away. And that's why I think motocross is so fun, because it always challenges you, makes you a little nervous, and it gets the heart going. So that's a good thing. But you got to get out there and jump. So start small and be smart about it, and just have fun along the way. That's the thing. Too many people try to go for the big dog jump right off the bat and then have a bad experience, go too long, go short, get injured, and then they're just set back, quit, or just scared of jumping, period. It's just like when you're learning a trick for the first time, all those tricks are like, they're scary. Some of those tricks are super gnarly, and you're like trying to learn this trick and you're nervous, you're uncomfortable, you're trying to figure it out, and you're like sketched. But then as you get it, no one goes and does it just kiss of death the first time. Boom. No one does that. It doesn't work that way. It starts off so small and it works its way up. But then like when you get it, it becomes easy and it actually becomes fun. Like fear turns into fun over time and repetition. But you kind of have to go through the process. So you just got to get out there. And that's what I'm saying. If you just start small, it should not be such a big step, like if you're like, hey, this is a pretty safe single jump. Like I was working with a guy maybe a month or two ago, and he wanted to learn how to jump. So we found this basic little single jump at this little private track, and I just kept sending him off that. And what he was having trouble with is a lot of times he'd come up and he'd shut off. Instead of powering off the lip, he'd want to shut off and it'd buck him. So sometimes you gotta, it's a learning process. Different riders do different things, but when you're learning, stay on the gas until you leave the lip. Don't go, I'm going to jump the jump and come in with a whole bunch of speed and then cut out and let the suspension load and then buck you off the lip because you didn't leave with power. When you're learning, just be steady at the jump, and as you get to the jump, power through the lip. Let off once you leave the lip, and the bike, as long as you're in good body position, the bike shouldn't do anything crazy. If you're jumping nose high, people are like, oh, I'm too aggressive on the gas. That's not true. Your body position's wrong. You can be as aggressive as you want, and the bike still shouldn't jump like this. The reason why you're jumping high is because you're leaning too far back. You're taking off with too much of your upper body towards the back of the bike, so it causes the front end to lift. So you just forward. So just little things. I think I have a video on here about how to jump for beginners. So check that video. I might have some helpful tips in there. But keep it simple. That's the thing. And that's what I like to say. Like build confidence as we go. Crashes steal our confidence. So if we can eliminate mistakes and crashes, we can eliminate those setbacks and those loss of confidence. So we got Mike back up here. He says, is it in the back of his house? The pit. So the pit, Schneider's, yeah, so kind of, exactly. You basically park at his house and then you would take off for like one trail and you would drop into the back of his pit. So it's probably the same pit. I'm thinking that. Yeah, his track was in Petersburg, right? His track, oh wait, so did I have it wrong? Petersburg. So maybe I'm wrong about that. Or maybe this track you're talking about is, I heard there's a pro quad rider that has a spot and he's building a place. Jerry Sate rides with him a lot. It could be his place. So, but there is some really sweet spots. All right, we got Dirty Dave here. He says, hey, Ronnie, sorry I missed the first 2 minutes. All good. He said, did you see Carson Brown ripping the Husky 250 two-stroke this weekend? He actually got some national points. Well, that's awesome. Yeah, so big shout out to Carson Brown getting some points and holding it down on the 252 stroke. That's even sweeter, huh? Yeah, because you're giving up. I think you're giving. If you're racing the 4 strokes on the the 252 stroke, I feel like the 254 strokes got a little advantage on you. So congrats to him holding it down out there. All right, so we got Mike here again. He says, I have a bike you can rip the whole time you're in Jersey. It's a 252 stroke, though, but you can handle that. All right, so there you go. Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Yeah, I ain't rode a two-stroke since 2000. Well, man, well, how long ago was that? I switched to a two or four-stroke in 2012, and I rode Taka's like 125 since. I really haven't rode one. Crazy. We got my man Adam here with the super chat. Moto Mondays, keep them coming. Yes, sir. You know how we do it. We're going to be here week after week. So thank you, Adam, for the super chat love, and thanks for always being here. Now you make me, where's V-Dub at? You always thinking, I have to see you, but where's V-Dub? V-Dub got another bike, dude. He got a 2006 Honda, I believe. We got Jeff Beaver. What up? He says, Harley made an MX bike back in the 70s. There you go. Rex, how do you say his name? It's not, I don't know how to say his name, but you guys can read that. Race one of them. One of my memories is correct. All right, so Big Rex raced a Harley. See, I didn't even know this. See, 70s. I wasn't born in the 77, so that's probably why I didn't know that. But hey, they need to bring it back, Beaver. Right? Tell them to step up the game. You got some connects over there, dude? I know you know somebody. Well, I hope you're doing well, man. I haven't seen you in a while, but good to see you in the chat, brother. Let's see. Who else we got here? Let's see, Big Fight. Oh, yeah, Big Fights. I know, I got to keep him out of the KC Joe's. All right, so we got Brian here. Yeah, so Moran's was out at Green Valley. I did see him posting some pics, and he's just coming back from injury, and I'm sure he was ripping. Didn't see video, but I saw a lot of pics. And Kevin Moran's is a local rider from here in the Midwest, so he's basically the fastest dude around here. So shout out to him. I actually haven't had a chance to meet him yet, but heard a lot of good things, so I'm sure he's a good dude. But he was definitely doing really well in the 125 class, and he even rode in the 125. Was he riding East or West Supercross? Can't remember which series he was riding, but he was riding one of them, and he's definitely making some mains. This dude's a really good starter, gets really good starts, but he actually rode and got some 450 starts, or 450 mains as well. But then I believe he got hurt, and now he's just coming back. So he's back out at the local track, getting back up to speed and getting ready. I'm sure he's going to come back next year for Supercross season. I don't know if he'll be back for any of the outdoors. Don't know his plan. All right, so let's see what Adam's got here. He says, hey, you're in one of those old crusty movies riding on a volcano. Can people still ride? Someone brought up this volcano up last week, and I thought about it after the show, and I'm like, they were saying it was in New Zealand, and I couldn't remember riding in the actual volcano. But then I was like, wait, did they get confused? And I was like, maybe it was in Peru. We did a film trip in Peru, and I just remember coming down this big it was like a black mountain of rock, and that's why I was like, wait, did he get confused and think it was New Zealand trip, and it was actually the Peru trip? But anyway, I ragdolled down that mountain. So the guy that was ragdolling down the hill, and Link pulled up to me. It was me, Link Kogel. I think Seth came on that trip. I don't think Hart was with us. I think it was just me, Link Kogel, and Seth. It was like the three of us went on that trip. But that dude who ragged down that black mountain was me. And I have the helmets. It might be in here. I wore that helmet one time. Remember, I got it painted right before I went on that trip, and I jacked it up, and I never wore it again. I put it on the shelf. I'm like, I'm done with that helmet. That killed me in Peru. But anyway, to get to your question, I don't know if anyone's riding the volcanoes these days. I mean, I'm sure maybe in Hawaii. I feel like there's a lot of volcanoes out there. I'm sure people are. But I haven't obviously had any opportunities. I haven't been on any film trips in a really long time. But anyway, I was just looking at some of the comments, making sure I didn't miss nobody. Got Dirty Dave. But sweet. All right, so what do you guys got? What do we got coming up here? Tommy Shea saying, I wonder is Minnesota has a West Coast. Let's pull this up here. Here it says, I wonder is Minnesota has this West Coast smoke from the fires yet. No work or nothing in Reno. So basically, there's gnarly fires going on in Cali. It's basically that time of the year when California just catches on fire. And who knows? It might be traveling all the way out to Minnesota. Hey, so just a quick question for you guys. Did you guys get a chance to see all the X Games runs? I know we talked about it last week, and I was thinking about it after the show. I'm like, I wonder how many of those guys even got to see it, because you basically had to get on. You had to get on here, really. YouTube, I think it was TikTok was doing lives, and then it was probably live on ESPN's. But did you guys get to see all the runs? If you're so, give me some comments and thoughts on some of those runs, because we were kind of talking about best whip. What you guys thought about that? You guys think that was, yeah. So Adam's saying Raha was sick with the big air. I agree. He definitely has got the skills on that one. Hold on, we got a quick little question here from John. All right, so John Kennedy, he says, hey, Ronnie, do you remember Grant Teal? I do remember Grant Teal. Grant Teal. Yeah, I do remember. Didn't he go homeless? I feel like I seen this dude in the streets in Temecula, almost homeless, right? Is that the right dude? He was an up-and-coming rider and was really good in freestyle. Solid. Oh, he passed away in Riverside. Thought you made dude, I do know this guy. This dude crashed at my house once and broke his foot. And I remember his foot got really infected, but I'm almost 100% sure he like went homeless, because I feel like we seen him on the streets in Temecula, and we tried to help him a couple times. I don't know if he got on drugs or what happened to the dude, but man, that's sad. I wonder how he passed away in Riverside. Yeah. I do remember him, though. If I'm thinking of the same Grant Teal, I'm almost 100% we're talking about the same guy. But that's sad, dude. What a bummer. But maybe he got hooked on drugs or something. That happens a lot. People get hurt, and they get hooked on the pills, and then the pills lead to something that's just downhill. That's the downside of when the hospital gives motocross guys drugs, and you kind of have to take them because you're in pain. All right, we got Woodcrafts here. It says, what is the most expensive gift you bought your girlfriend? This is like the motor. They do this on Supercross. Haha. Seriously, you don't have to answer that. But do you think of the generic question in the Nationals? So basically, they've been asking this question, I guess, in the Nationals. I don't know if they're doing it during Supercross. I don't know about an expensive gift, but I know what the best gift and there's the dog. Mel will tell you 100% the best gift that I gave her was her dog. She loves Little Mally, and Little Mally wasn't cheap, so I don't know if it was the most expensive, but it was definitely up there. Because we don't have kids yet. That basically is our kid. So I'm going with that. If I was to answer that question, it would be our dog, Little Mally. Best trick stream. Went down. Wait, what happened? What is Mel talking about? The best trick stream went down? Oh yeah, you're right. So basically, Mel's clowning on X Games, because if you guys were watching the X Games, best trick went down in the middle of it basically crashed. So she's saying we're not the only one that has issues. That's good to know that people as good as X Games have issues. All right. So everyone, we're playing this deal here. What would you be doing if we weren't doing motocross? Hey, the funny thing is that I'd probably be a cop. I honestly, if I didn't make it in moto, I probably would have moved back to Jersey, and I went to college and took forensic science and law enforcement classes before I decided to move to California. And in the back of my mind, I was thinking, all right, hey, I can always go home, right? If this doesn't work, I can always go home, go finish college, and be a cop. My dad's a cop. My dad's brother's a cop. My cousin's a cop. The whole Feist family is a cop. My dad's dad was the chief of the fire department. We live in a little small town in New Jersey, and everybody knows everybody. So that would have been the deal. So I would have had a badge and a gun. But I think it'd be sweet, to be honest with you. I think it's all good. I mean, even though cops get a lot of hate these days, and because the media just does them dirty, it is what it is. And I think it's cool sometimes when people, like you have a whole family like that, like the people. So I think it'd be cool. Big Feist's been a cop, 39 years, retired second in charge lieutenant. And I'm proud of him. And I think it would have been, if I wasn't doing, Moto was my pick. I was like, hey, this is what I really want to do. And I think my dad probably wanted me to be a cop because he kind of was like, you ain't going to make no money on that dirt bike. You need to go to school, go to the police department. So, hey, I would have probably did what my dad wanted me to do. And not to saying that I thought it was bad, because I always I like cop movies. I like watching Unsolved Mysteries. I like watching America's Most Wanted, and I like the cop stuff. Forensic Files and that stuff. It's good stuff. It's fun, right? Entertaining. At least it's not a boring job, right? Can't do nothing boring. It's got to keep me. That's the thing. I can't be inside. I've realized that. I can't be inside. If I was a cop, you better put me on the streets. Let me go bust some people, dude. I'll be undercover, dude. Doing drug bust. Coming in hot. Wire me up. That'd be intense, though. Like, think about that, dude. Do you have the cool? Think about that job. Do you have the cool and the nerves to sit? Could you sit inside? Say you were hired to be in New York City undercover to take down the mob. Could you do it? That's a gnarly job. Could you sit in front of the mobsters who you know are armed, who you know are killers, and sit there and play like you're on their side? And play like you're their friend and you're in with them when you really are wearing a wire and you're bugged and you're planning on taking them down? That's gnarly. Like, that takes a different type of man, brave man. Like, I got respect for men that can do that. That's pretty sweet, because I don't think anyone could handle that job, because that's gnarly. Like, you got to be like really cool and calm, and you would have to be able to handle fear, because you would have to get nervous in some situations, especially if you're wearing a wire. That'd be sketch. But anyway, so shout out to the police officer. I got nothing but love for the man in blue, and I love our military. I love all the people who serve this country and fight for our country. Another thing, my whole family were military people, so I respect and appreciate all those people. That's right. Hold it down, baby. Red, white, and blue. All right. You guys really, Kamel's coming really in with this. Yeah, he went homeless. So John Kennedy, so that is him. Yep, he did go homeless. That was Teal. Favorite movie? I don't really have a favorite movie now, because we never watch movies. But growing up, all my favorite movies are Bruce Lee movies, and Big Feist would let you know. I knew every word for every Bruce Lee movie. I could sit down and recite it word for word. That's how many times I watched them. Enter the Dragon, Fist of Fury, Chinese Connection, Return of the Dragon, Game of Death. I was a Bruce Lee fan. Bruce Lee nut growing up. He was my hero. Yep. So he said he got on drugs. Oh, no. That is gnarly, dude. Got on drugs and was murdered by another homeless guy. That is sad. See, the streets are crazy, dude. Drugs. You gotta stay away from that. It's terrible. So, yeah, so here, let me pull up this verse, because that was a response to this. It said it was boring without all the crowds screaming and yelling. So he's talking about, I'm assuming you're talking about X Games. And then Swam's getting in here saying he agree. I think the crowd is important for X Games. And I feel the same way. I think the crowd is big time important. I think we were touching on this last week a little bit. You got to get the crowd in the game. I mean, dude, it does. As an athlete, when you hear that crowd getting behind you, it motivates you. Or you just walk out, like, when you just get there and the stadium's packed and you just take a look at the people, like, I mean, opening ceremonies, like, I used to get fired up when I used to play the national anthem. Like, you walk out on the, stadium's packed and they play the national anthem, and like opening ceremony, you're something inside of me, and I'm sure probably a lot of other athletes and anybody that's probably competed, they play that song, it's go time. It's like, dude, this is time to go. And you're just fired up. Dude, you work your butt off. You work all year for that one event. All those people are there. It's like, it's gone. Let me go show everybody what I've been doing. So, yeah. But at the end of the day, to at least get the event done for the guys so they can be out there and keep those deals going, it's some X Games are better than no X Games because so much rides on the line for those guys. Best whip. So I'm just going to read some of you guys' comments here. Best whip favorite event. I do like that. Best whips. Yeah, here we go. This is full. So I just want to know, how did Jess Hunt know this? Because I wasn't even gonna bring this up. It's called the regrip. Now this is old school technique. I learned this from Gary Bailey, but I don't really use it that much. That's why I don't teach it. Because here's the thing, I'm like, I don't want to tell somebody to do something I don't actually do. So I don't really use it, but it is a technique. So basically, let me just read what he wrote. He said, roll his bars forward just a little to make sure to regrip when needed. So basically, I want to clarify. As far as where the bars need to be, I don't like to see guys rolling the bars farther forward than the forks. I think the bike doesn't corner right once you get your bars rolled forward. So keep your bars in line with the forks. The regrip that I'm talking about is a technique. So picture throttle hand. This is my throttle hand. I'm coming into the corner. I start braking. As I brake and I slide forward for the sit for the corner, I loosen my hand grip and I roll the wrist forward like this, called a regrip. And now my hand slides like this. Let me try to get a clear shot here so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Say this is the bar. Man, this microphone. All right, I'm braking like this. I'm going to come in. I'm going to go like this. I'm going to lighten my grip, roll forward, and then as I roll, Gary Bailey taught this technique. Elbows up and out, pointed every corner. He always said, outside elbow, don't let it drop. He was really picky about dropping that elbow below the bars, but I study the top dudes, and the guys are always like this, coming in the corners, coming down straight A's, going through roots, going through jumps. But if you watch guys in corners, their elbows move a lot. No one's picture perfect like this in every corner. The Lawrence brothers probably, and Sexton, even Trey Kennard has that type of style. Dungy. But still, they're still loose and their arms kind of move a little bit. So I'm not as strict about where the arms are at in the corners. Obviously, we don't want them here, right? They stay here, but I give people the freedom to let them be loose. Move the bike. If they're loose, just rotate back to here. But the regrip, we're braking, we roll forward, and then as we roll the gas on, see, now it keeps the elbow up. So that is a technique I learned, but I honestly don't really use it. And I've even talked to other guys, like anytime I'm around people who, in my opinion, like Trey Kennard or Cole Seeley, even like Deegan, Rhino, anyone who I know is like a good rider, a guy who's been around, who knows what the heck they're talking about, I always ask people, like, hey, what do you think about this? What do you teach? What do you do? Because I want to learn. I want to see where they're at. And most of the guys say, oh, yeah, I've heard of it. I don't really use it. So it's a technique. You could try it, and if it works for you, hey, great. But I'm going to be honest with you. I personally don't use it, even though there was probably a time when I was trying to do it a lot as a mini rider because that's what my coach was trying to tell me to do, to keep my arm up. He was really picky about those arms being up at all times. He's like, don't let them drop below the bar. But study the guys today and watch them in their corners, and you will see the guys. They'll come into the corner. You'll even see it kind of come in tight sometimes. They're loose, but they always return back to here. So that's what I'm saying. I don't want to be so picky about like this and then have guys ride around the track like this and they're moving. You got to be loose. Loose arms, but return here. Always see, guys, this is your attack position, but you have to have the freedom to work the bike in the corner. And you want to be relaxed, you know? You want to be stiff guy just because you're trying to force your arm to be up. But at the same time, we don't want to, if I see guys riding like this, I would definitely correct them and say, hey, you need to get those arms out. Because we don't want them in and stay in. They need to move around. But that's cool that Hunt even knew the regrip. He must have been watching Gary Bailey's. Gary Bailey used to have these old school motocross VHS tapes, and he had one for all different types of technique. So he might have watched one of the old videos back in the day. So we got Trent jumping in here. What's up, brother? Been a long time. Been MIA. Oh man, he's been in the hospital. Yeah, he broke his femur. Oh man, got infected. All right, well we got to keep Trent in our prayers that he gets that healed up, because infection is no joke when it comes to breaking bones. I've seen that happen to some friends. So hopefully get healed up there and get back in the game, and then infection heals up. Yeah, so Big Fights is saying he liked the X Games and Home Depot Center the best. I would have to agree with Home Depot Center. Was pretty sick, and the LA Coliseum was pretty sick too. Definitely. Just hunt again. Wanting to get into getting the mountain. Wait, I thought I said mountain bike. I'm adding words. Wanting to get into mountain or ride biking. So mountain biking, I'm assuming. Any suggestion on bikes that don't cost $5,000? Dude, I feel like all the good ones are super expensive. I honestly don't mountain bike that much. I'm more of a road bike guy. So I feel like Twitch is in the mountain. Go to Twitch's page and see what he's riding right now, because he's been mountain biking a ton. And but I bet the bike he's on is probably super expensive, and somebody probably gave it to him. He didn't buy it. But I feel like all the good bikes these days are probably super expensive, but I still feel like you could find something under $5,000 for sure. That's still a good bike. I bought the mountain bike I have, actually bought it off Twitch, and I know he got it for free, so thanks for making money off me, buddy. But I only paid like $2,500 for mine, but it was used, but it was still good. But I can't give you a good direction on that, just because I personally don't know enough about him, you know. But I've been talking about maybe getting a new road bike. My road bike is so old. Like, Mel makes fun of it. Like, that's my wife. She don't even know nothing about bikes, and she clowns my road bike. That's how old it is. I've seriously had it my whole career. It has to be 15 years old. It's so ghetto. But it still works, so I'm like, whatever, I'm rolling it. I actually ride the stationary bike at the gym probably more than I ride anything. All right, let's get Woodcrass up here. We got a few minutes left. He says, have you ever met Axel Hodges? Yes, I have. Pretty sweet compound. He does, and he is super cool. I would say he has one of the best, sickest compounds that freestyle free riders have ever built. But he's a super cool dude. Got to hang out with Got to hang out with him a ton when we were training for Winter X Games in the snow bike. So we went up to Minnesota, and we stayed together in hotels. So you know how that goes. Stay in a room with somebody for 3 or 4 days when it's negative 22 outside, you will talk about a lot of stuff. He's super cool, and his dad's awesome. I love his dad. All right. There's Trent. Trent's hit me up right now. Trent's texting me while we're here. What up, dude? I skipped this thing. What did he say? Infection has even screwed up one of my titanium screws. Hold on, letting her. Man, I had to get my screws out. To be honest with you, I had mine taken out. So you might have to do that, dude. All right, so Jess said, where would I find one of those old clips? Where do I find those old clips? You and Deegan, Twitch, old school other than Krusty. So I'm thinking like old riding, like moto videos. So obviously the old Krusty videos, the old Moto Triple X videos. Big Fights is saying YouTube. Definitely can always look on here. Trying to think what name some. And then obviously there was the whole series that Dave Dawes, he was my roommate. He did my video, which was called Mentally Twisted. He did the Twitch and Scummy video. I think he even did Deegan Says. I think he made that video too, Deegan Says. So there's a ton of old videos, but YouTube might be your best bet because most of those videos were on VHS. So it's kind of hard to even find them or get them to even play. So yeah, I would look out here, or look right here. Building, and look up Dave Dawes. He has a YouTube channel and posts some stuff on there sometimes, and he's the dude who has all the old footage because he lived with me and filmed us all the time. All right, so we got about 5 minutes go. Let's see, we got building a kicker ramp and landing for some moto kids. It's small to help them get comfortable. How big do you think I should build one for beginners, grown men? So, well, the kicker ramp is normally at 45 feet, but it's much steeper and a little bit taller than the standard, we would call it a comp ramp, which is set at 75 feet. But man, I don't necessarily know. I mean, if as far as gap goes, I would honestly, I would build a nice landing. You know, here's the thing, like you could say like build it like 14 feet tall with a big old deck on it. But I know the problem is most people don't have the dirt to get these big landings. So build it as big as you can, but the taller, the better. Especially for a super kicker, because if you're going to hit the super kicker, it's going to boost you way up. And as far as gap goes, 45 is where we keep them, but the cool thing about ramps is you can kind of start it wherever. So I would just push it in. I would first build a big safe landing, try to get at least 14 foot if you can. If not, don't, like anything lower than 12 is getting kind of puny for freestyle. So 12, 14, if you can keep it in that range, like get a nice little deck on it. I mean, at least a half a bike. Like a full bike is like when we started, we have full. Like, and if you look at some of the guys these days, some of them will have smaller decks, but these dudes been doing it for 20 years. But when we originally started, we had big decks, at least big enough to case on top and bounce off if you had it. If it's a half a bike and you clip the top, you're either going to half a bike into the face or half a bike like this, and it's going to buck you down. So if you at least have a full bike, you laying up on top, you can and jump off. It's way, when you're learning, you want it big and safe. I did a video on that as well. It talks about how to set up a freestyle ramp. I talk about like just the landing and stuff, but the bigger the better. And it's just easier because when you're trying to learn how to jump and do tricks, if your landing's real big, you can focus more on your trick and not be so like worried about tagging this little sketchy landing. So if you have the little razorback, no deck, and it's just 8 foot tall, it looks like a takeoff, you have to be so on point with your so you time it that the second you start thinking about your trick and what you want to do, if you're a little bit off on the gas, you go to flats or you case it and you crash. That's why we built really big ones, so you didn't have to focus so much on your run-in and being so precise on the gas and throttle that you land it perfect. Big landing, now you can take your mind off of the run-in so much and just kind of be in the ballpark and then focus on the body movement. So I built a big landing and then get a nice super kicker ramp, and then I would just kick it in and just test run it, jump it, and then kick it back. And like I said, we only go to 45, so I don't think you need to kick it back any farther than that. We kicked it back to 55 feet one time at Deegan's house and booted it. It was gnarly. Me, Twitch, and Deegan, I think, were the only three that hit it. It was pretty sick. How good is Danger Boy? I would say Danger Boy is about as good as they get. He rips, and I plan on seeing him being a national champion. In the future, I bet he'll go down Loretta's. When is it? It's coming up here real quick. I'm sure he's going to take another championship. If nothing crazy happens, he stays up and bikes don't break, he's for sure going to win, in my opinion. And I think he's on the road. I think Deegan said the last time I talked to Brian, he said they were looking at 2 years. So he's basically, I think this will be his last year on the small bikes, and then next year he'll go down to Loretta's in probably the 125 schoolboy class, and then I think the following year he'll be 250 Supercross. So 2 years from now, that ain't long, and it's looking like it's going to be KTM or the Yamaha team. So he's legit, dude. But, dude, think about it. I mean, he couldn't have got groomed any better, you know? His dad's Deegan. Grew up watching his dad jump in the backyard. All of his buddies. I remember he used to hold himself up like this and look out the window, and we'd all be riding in the backyard. He was just a little baby, 2 years, 3 years old. Just hold himself up watching. So he got to grow up, and then as soon as he was old enough to get on a dirt bike, he had a mini supercross track. I remember Deegan built him this little tiny, it looked like a pump track for like a BMX bike, but it was a mini supercross track. And it just kept, each year, it got gnarlier and gnarlier and gnarlier. And then I remember even before I left California, his supercross track, he was still on 80s. Well, he's still on 80s now, but he might have even been on 60s when I was, no, he was on 80s when I was leaving. But anyway, he had a full-blown supercross track. As a kid, I'm like, that's such an advantage. Because most kids don't get that as growing up, to get to have a full-blown supercross track and grow up and like have different levels of them, you know, from your 50 to your 60 to your 85. And his 85, now that he's on, my point was the track that he's riding on his 85 is just as like it'd be like a track that if I was gonna go race Supercross, I'd practice on it. It's gnarly. It's a real Supercross track. So definitely groomed to be a champ. He's got the Deegan blood, and the whole family. They're all good. Haley's an amazing driver. Hayden's a killer racer, and little Huxon, he's killing it too. He's ripping it. So pretty cool to see all the boys taking after dad. All right, so Howard said Brian said he's going to 250s after Loretta's. Oh, so a year early. So maybe they're getting excited. So they could have changed, yeah. Because the last time I talked to him, he said that they were planning on doing Loretta's on a 125. So hey, he's good enough. So maybe they're just like, yo, let's just push him in. So things could change. So there you go. There you go. All right, man. We are at 8 p.m. So thank you guys once again for hanging out. Appreciate all you guys being here week after week. Big shout out again for Adam for the super chat. Big Feist. We'll see you in another week or so. And looking forward to the FCA motocross camp. And if you're in that area, look it up. And if you want to come out and get signed up, I'll be there for 2 days. And then we'll see you guys for the August 14th class here. And then we'll let you guys know about next week. Because like I said, we got Mel's brother coming in town. So I'll keep you posted on if we're going to be here, if we're going to move it. Hey, give us a thumbs up and subscribe if you have not. And we will see you next week. Much love and ride safe. Peace out.